All right. So, welcome to this interview. My name is Nicolien Martina Dorenbos. I'm the head trainer for the Institute of Women International in Europe. And with me today is Lizelle Malan. Lizelle recently has been certified as CREATRIX Transformologist. And today she's sharing her story. All right, Lizelle, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today and share your story. And I'm very interested, what was your life like before you joined the Institute of Women?
Well, let's just say I've always been reactive to chaos around me. I think it comes from childhood where it was very dysfunctional, and I've had to learn to survive and cope in chaotic circumstances. So I built quite a lot of resilience in my life, but I also knew that was not a way to live life. I was merely just surviving and trying to cope and keep alive. But I got to a point in my life where I wanted to live. I wanted to enjoy, and I wanted to see what there is in life that I'm missing, because I had so many dysfunctional patterns in my life, learning to survive.
So, what was the biggest challenge or struggle that you had, especially around mental and emotional blockages?
So my biggest one was anxiety. I have suffered from chronic anxiety for most of my life, but have been in, say, doctor's treatment for about 15 years of taking medication, just to be able to cope with life so that the anxiety does not take over. Although that I felt that that was just suppressing the symptoms, and I wasn't being able to resolve the roots of it. I've done many other therapies like BCT, EFT, tapping. I was going to EMDR. There was so many options of therapies, and it felt like it was giving me temporary relief to cope, but it wasn't resolving issues for me to be able to move on.
So, and then can you tell me a bit about then the low point or the rock bottom moments that you encountered and that you realized that something really had to change?
I've had a couple of those moments in my life, but I think the most recent one was in February 2020. My mother was murdered, and I live in a different country, and it was the exact same time that COVID hit. And it was impossible for me to go home and to be part of the funeral, to be part of any of the grieving process with my family. I was stuck in the Netherlands. Schools were closed, and I had to be a stay-at-home mom and be a teacher. That is not my strong suit. That was my mom's strong suit, so I missed it even more. And just the responsibilities and the pressures and stress that was on my plate just magnified in 2020. And I knew I had to make changes, because the circumstances is not going to change. It's how I react or how I manage myself in the situation. I started studying coaching then to get some tools for myself of how to cope better with things and get some new learnings on how I can manage my life and deal with grief and all these kinds of emotional things that were draining me from life. And when I finished all my coaching, I felt that just wasn't quite what I was looking for. Those are really great tools, but it's not going to resolve all these deep, let's say, blockages, emotional pain that I was suffering, or limiting beliefs. That wasn't helping that. So I then saw CREATRIX come past, and I was very cynical because I've just spent a lot of money and time on a bunch of coaching and wanted to start up my own coaching practice, but I just didn't have the motivation. So when I saw the CREATRIX ad come by, I contacted you and I said, I'm interested, but I'm cynical. I want to first experience and see what this is really about, because it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And can you tell me a bit about the moment that you decided to join the Institute? Because you were cynical, you had done a lot of things already, nothing worked, you were still coping with things. And I think, if you learn how to cope with things or deal with things, the issue isn't gone. You just shovel it under the carpet. So I can imagine that you had a lot of reservations. So can you tell me about the moment that you decided to join the Institute of Women?
So that happened in September of last year, 2021. My marriage has come to an end and my husband decided to leave. And I suddenly realized my whole life is falling apart. And I have to take responsibility for me and to deal with this crap so that I can get on with my life and build the life I really want. And I tried to draw on all resources that I had, but it was accumulation of grief and anxiety and stress, and I didn't know where to go. And then I was journaling like I always do, and it struck me that in March of 2021, I gave myself a present, and that was doing a CREATRIX session with you. And then I thought, what was that all about? I can't even remember the issue we did. So I messaged you and I said to you, I'm interested to know what the issue was that we actually CREATRIX, because I can't remember it anymore because it's gone, so I can't remember. I didn't really write it up. And you said to me, the issue was my fear of greatness. And then I went, yes, I feel that there's greatness in me that is so suppressed, it cannot come out because I'm always in fight or flight mode and I'm always reacting to circumstances around me or other people's choices, and I cannot reach my greatness. And then I thought about it and I thought, I'm in a situation now where I'm a single mom, and I have a salon that I'm still building, but I need financial freedom, I need emotional freedom, I need clear goals for my life, and the best way of doing that is to do something that I'm passionate about. And then when I started looking further into CREATRIX and what that's all about, it was on the path I already started. It was on the path of self-development, of releasing all the blockages, of releasing limiting beliefs. And it's so beautiful that I can help others to do the same thing. And that's exactly where I was going in my life, but there was so many external circumstances that was blocking me from that. And now there isn't. I can steer my own ship, and why not?
Yeah.
So I said to you that I am going to take my life savings and I'm going to take a big leap of faith and trusting that CREATRIX will offer and give me what they promise. And if all else fails and I don't make a great business of it, I can get a year's worth of CREATRIX and get rid of my blockages and my limiting beliefs. But thinking of just that one little session, and that I couldn't even remember what it was that was causing such a huge block in my life, I had faith enough, small little seed of faith, to know that is what it did for me. Can you imagine if I have more sessions and if I build this business and I can release other women doing that, helping them to get where I want to be at the same time? That'll be incredible. That is the calling that I feel in my life. That is what I want to do. I want to help other women in any specific way that can help them reach their greatness too.
Yeah. And I think you were at a point, where you've encountered so much challenges, your mum murdered, your husband going away, and then you hit really rock bottom, and then you have a choice. Either you really, are in pain and staying in pain, or what you did is to take responsibility, take a big leap of faith, take life into your own hands and turn things around.
Yes.
So you joined the Institute, and what was it like when you started the program?
It was overwhelming. because I had a lot on my plate, a lot of unsureties that was going on. So I didn't know what to leave and what to take. And I just said, I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to focus on every step, one step at a time, every day, and I'm going to trust the process. I have to just trust the process. I cannot analyze it to death, because then I will never move. So it was a matter of weeks that when I enrolled in September, October, the training started, and I looked at all this work and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to manage to do all this work with everything on top of what I'm going through. And I thought, you know what, this is for me. I'm doing the best thing that I can, and that my focus is to heal and to get on with my life. I can, like you said, choose to sit and wallow in this miserable situation that I'm sitting in, that I didn't choose, and I can blame my husband and blame the universe and blame whoever that I'm suffering, or I can take charge and learn to do things differently by getting rid of things. So when I joined, it was overwhelming, but it was an extreme sense of belonging. Suddenly I was in a group of like-minded women that were also going through incredible difficult things in their life, and they've also reached the point of enough. No more. I am not going to be tossed around by life. I am going to take charge, and it's going to be hard by not knowing what we're actually going to do, but we're going to trust the process. And I was in good company. And that gave me a sense of I'm in the right place and I'm moving in the right direction. So it felt like I was coming home.
Beautiful. And then you went through the process. What were your biggest aha moments?
Whoa. I had many. So during the online training, we did quite a few limiting beliefs and blockages. And I think one of the things that was a big aha moment was to see how gentle and how easy the process was of receiving new learnings that just dissolved those blockages and those limiting beliefs. It was too good to be true. I was just like, how is this possible to not work my butt off in therapy like I've done for 15 years to be a better person, and to try and replace negative thinking with good thinking, and replace negative behavior with good behavior. It was a lot of work that I expected to do in myself, but it surprised me completely, because it wasn't that there was so much work to be done, then to accept and trust the process of my inner wisdom and my inner learnings coming to change me from within.
Yeah. And that is something that I really hear a lot about with the women who I speak to. First of all, it sounds too good to be true.
Yes.
And second of all, the belief without pain, there's no gain.
Yes.
So what will you say to those women who say, all sounds too good to be true?
I'd say you've got a valid point, because there's been a lot of gimmicks in this world, trying to con you into believing that you don't have to do much, you just pay this amount of money and you're all good to go. But they don't give you the red print and tell you the small fine print. But these are all the conditions for you to do it. I have gone through the process. I have experienced it myself. There is no small print. It is you healing yourself from an unconscious level to a conscious level, from a being state, not from a doing state. And when you are aligned from mind, body, mind, heart, and gut, you cannot be or do anything else but to live out of that space.
Yeah.
And once the change is made, or the transformation is made, those limiting beliefs or blockages don't have space. They fall away. So you are welcome to go and fetch them again and put them back and then do the work. But once you've experienced that freedom and that alignment, you know the work is not what made it happen. It was CREATRIX that made it happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's come and experience it for yourself before you judge it.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Yeah. And then the had no pain, no gain belief. I can imagine that a lot of women believe that because what they've been through was very hard and tough and a lot of work, that was actually often processes that are not designed for women, and CREATRIX is uniquely designed for women, so it fits like a glove.
Exactly.
So how was your experience with that?
Well, like I say, I've experienced so many different therapies and coaching modalities that it was strange, it was refreshing, but it was so effortless. I didn't have to work to change myself. I had to tune into my intuition. I had to tune into my subconscious mind. I had to just come to a place of being a human being instead of a human doing.
Yes.
And it was scary because it's unknown. I've never seen anything like it. And all the therapies and modalities out there was designed by men. It works on men's brains. So if you've never experienced a therapy or modality that was created for women and how it works on women, it will seem strange because you've never experienced anything like it. So that was the same for me, but it was gentle and it didn't re-traumatize me to ask me to go back to my childhood or to this trauma that happened, or picture your mother being murdered all over again and tell me the feelings that you are feeling. I didn't want to go there anymore. And I was sick and tired of people forcing me to talk about things that didn't do anything for me. It just re-traumatized me and it educated them. But I wasn't getting any healing from it. I can journal until I'm blue. I can talk to a therapist until I'm blue. But what is it going to do for my inner self if there's not a change within me?
Exactly.
So it was moving from an external therapy to an internal belief system that set me free.
Beautiful. And what was the hardest part for you during the whole training?
Trusting myself. Because of all my limiting beliefs, of not thinking I'm good enough, not thinking I can make a difference in this world. Why would women come to me and look at the mess that my life is in? And now I've got to be a role model to them. It was my internal beliefs that was hard to deal with. The course itself wasn't hard. It was what I was telling myself about the course. It was what I was believing about the course, that it was too much work. It was too much on my plate. It was, I can't do this. So it's not really what the course was all about and what was hard about that. It was hard because I was limiting myself to go with it and to trust it. There was some really great videos from Maz, and there was moments where I thought, whoa, I've had a really bad mindset, and I've got to own my shit. I've got to really think about what is my stuff that I have to take responsibility for and stop blaming the world and stop blaming circumstances. Those things were hard to hear, but at the end, those were things that made an impact on my life and that made CREATRIX even more convincing and transforming in my life.
Beautiful. And were there any other people around you who discouraged you to do this? Were there any outside forces or people who said, well, what are you doing? Or
I was laying low a bit at that stage because of my circumstances. And I thought, I've got to learn to trust my own choices. And this is really something that I feel drawn to. So I am not going to talk too much about it or say too much about it until I am 100% comfortable with it. And there came a point when I had friends over, and I had phone calls from friends, and you know, they would share some situation or uncomfortable emotion they were going through, and I started feeling more confident sharing about, don't you think that that might be something that is blocking you from living the life that you want? Just prodding, asking questions. And some of them would say, yes, I do believe that that's a limiting belief, or I don't know where it's coming from. And then I would just start a conversation about, do you know about epigenetics? And do you believe that sometimes we sit with things that are not actually our things, but from our parents or generations before us? And if there was an openness for that, I would talk to them about CREATRIX. And some of my clients as well, they come here to get some physical therapy for themselves, but I hear a lot of stories about the internal struggles that they go through. So I share little bits about what I've learned and what I've seen. And there has been comments about I am different in some ways. And then, I would just check out my Facebook page, see, I'll share a story every now and again why things are different.
And were there, during your whole course, were there any moments that you actually wanted to quit?
I would say not quit, but move my goalposts, I think. I have quite high standards for myself, and I wanted to hit the road running straight away. And then I realized, oh my word, I have so many things that I have to actually work through before I can reach certain goals. So I've had to, let's say, adjust my expectations of myself, to be more kinder and gentler on myself, so that I can reach the goals that I want to do. But the course itself has been really transforming in the way that it's made me aware of so many things that I sit with that I never even thought about. Now I am aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my feelings. I'm aware of where's the origin of these things coming from? Are they my thoughts? Are they my parents' thoughts? What are these behaviors like? Where are they coming from? Oh, I remember my grandmother was like that, and maybe her grandmother. So it's opening a world of me questioning more about who I am as a person, as opposed to circumstances around me.
Mm-hmm.
And that transition has been hard, but it's been life-changing, and it's been eye-opening. I wouldn't want it different. So no, I don't want to quit, and I haven't thought of quitting. In fact, I want to learn more and do more. I've just learned to adjust my expectations and be a little bit gentler on myself, because I want it done yesterday.
And then you talk a lot about the different shifts in your head, heart, and gut. What did you do differently because of that?
I would say small things, but that has accumulated into big things. I look at every day as an opportunity to live from my intuition, rather than overanalyzing things to death and trying to find the most logical or best solution for everything. I spend a lot more time reflecting within myself and thinking of how I want my life to be. And then sometimes I would just sit and wait for a thought or a feeling to come up. Like the other day, I had this feeling in my gut, like I want a different space, like a physical space where I'm feeling more comfortable, more relaxed. I want to sort out the clutter and the chaos. And then it sparked an idea in me of something I wrote down in my journal about 4 years ago. I drew a picture inside of my journal of how I pictured my office space to be, for instance. And then it resonated in my gut. And I said, yes, that's what I need to do. So I went straight ahead and I just did it without thinking of how I'm going to do it and how long it's going to take me and how much money it's going to take. I just did it. And that changed my feelings of peace and serenity in my home. And then I've had to-do lists forever and a day, but I've had sabotaging blocks. I've had procrastination blocks that I've had to get away. So now there's not so much resistance when it comes to something that I truly want to do or truly believe in. There's just more flow. Like, that's what I want, that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to think about it or analyze it or ask myself, can I do it? I just do it. And that has changed on a day-to-day basis. I'm looking for ways to increase my joy and my serenity in my life without trying to resist it all the time with, do I deserve it? Don't I deserve it? Can I do it? Do I have the money to do it? You know, all these limiting beliefs that the more I creatrix them, the easier it is just to flow into what it is that my life should be.
So it seems like you've really come home to yourself.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It's still a process, it's still a journey, but every day it feels I'm living truly out of who I am instead of what I think I should be or what others expect me to be. Mm-hmm. The weight and expectation of others, has no real impact on me anymore. My feelings or my expectations of myself and mm-hmm. My dreams and my goals for my life, that seems to be the most overriding influence in my life at this moment, where it was always the other way around. I was more externally probed and pushed to what I should be and what I should be doing. Now it's coming from an internal space, from what it is, what I want, and what my intuition is leading me to.
So you've been certified recently,
yes.
Around Christmas. Yes. So that's been a little bit about a month ago, I would say.
Yes.
So since then, how has life been?
Well, it's been a new year and there's been lots of new things happening. I have done studies further, and I've been practicing quite a lot with one of the girls that I did training with. And the more I release, the more blockages and limiting beliefs I release, just the easier it is to get into the flow of going further. And just, I'm excited. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about where this Creatrix is leading me, and I'm excited to share this with other women. I'm feeling more confident every day, the more I'm just engrossing myself into this concept of there is another way.
And I can remember that we spoke when you just been certified, and you said to me, since I've done this, my beauty salon has been gone through the roof.
Yes.
Pamperlang it is, right?
Yes.
So tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've had some money blocks and I've had some success blocks. And when I started Pamperlang, it was really just a little hobby to do something because I still had small children. But I was a businesswoman in South Africa before we came here, and I had my own businesses, and I needed some drive. I needed to get back into the workspace, but it was impossible with 2 little small kids and a new lifestyle here. So when I started Pamperlang, I was mostly doing little favors for friends, painting their nails and doing this. And then we had space in the house, and I thought, let me invite them here to do it. And then I was doing some advertising, but I wasn't really focused on the business. It was a hobby on the side. But since I did my first CREATRIX with you, it felt like, okay, and there was COVID and there was lockdown and sometimes it was completely closed, but the momentum it's gained has been great. I'm just getting more and more clients, and I've been getting more and more confidence in my products and in my treatments. But I think it was since I did the money blocks and the success blocks around November, December last year, that I was just like, I deserve for this salon to be bigger, to be better, to be one of the best, and I deserve to make a good living from it. And the more I just cleared those blocks and those beliefs, and I became open to receiving more clients, to receiving more responsibility, to receiving more money, it just started flowing. So there was a stage in the last month or two before lockdown again, I couldn't help everybody. I didn't have enough products to help everybody. I just had to keep on ordering and ordering. And so there's definitely a ripple effect of all the limiting beliefs going into every area of my life, with my children, with my workspace, with my studies, with everything that I am involved in. The ripple effects of CREATRIX touches every one of them. Maybe now in small little pieces, but the more I release, the bigger the impact and the change is. So that's extremely exciting. And the fact that my salon is doing is better and so well is a great bonus. And I also feel like that's a way of allowing more women into my space so that I can share with them what CREATRIX can do for them that beauty therapy can't.
Mm-hmm. And you say that it also has a big effect on your children.
Yes.
How tell me more about that.
Okay, so when I feel I am not worthy, when I feel I'm rejected, when I feel I'm abandoned, I project that onto my children. And I haven't noticed that kind of impact until I'm made aware of the stuff that I'm struggling with. So when I notice, oh, I'm struggling with this, and I'm releasing these things, there's automatically a different energy that you bring into your relationships. And I see that especially with my children. Because I was so anxious and fearful, I also projected that anxiousness and fear on them. And now with that being released, we have a more easygoing rhythm. There's not so much tension in the house, and the rhythm is getting easier with them, and there's more openness with them, and there's more joy and there's more love flowing from me into them and them back. I'm finding more creative ways to help them improve certain areas of their life where before I was too bogged down with my own stuff to even have the energy to think about those things. A little thing, I started a motivation chart with them. They're only 8 and 5, but I started a little motivation board with them that they have certain tasks to do during the week. And every time they do a task, they will get a little magnet next to their name. And then on the Friday, when they have X amount of magnets, they can choose their reward. And it's changed the environment in our house so much, from fighting and resistance and moaning and whining and to, what can I do next, Mom? Is there something else I can help you with? To them getting up in the mornings and taking responsibility for themselves. Not waiting for Mom to come and brush their teeth, not waiting for Mom to tell them to get into the shower, not waiting for Mom to whine and moan or shout again at them for not doing something. So it's changed from an environment of punishment to an environment of let's work together and let's see how we can make things better. And that is, I believe, just from changing my mindset and my blockages, that energy is now flowing in the house.
Beautiful. So, and what about the future? What are your plans?
Yeah, I don't have fear of greatness anymore. So my plans are to live a life of greatness. And So I sat last night with my little journal, looking at where I want to be in the next 6 months. And I have a lot of goals and plans for my salon, where I want to go with that. I'm thinking of expanding into Amsterdam to a second salon. And for CREATRIX, obviously, is to learn and progress as fast as I can to get as many possible clients as I can, but working on, you know, the business side of things, the website and the Facebook and all of that. But just being excited about every single day and what the day can bring. Being a business owner of 2 businesses, that makes me excited. But to be a CREATRIX transformologist is adding so much value to the world. You know, to be able to bring other women home to themselves, to live the life that I've just tasted in the last couple of months. I can't wait to see what, you know, where I will be in a year's time. So my goals are big, and I have to rein myself in a little bit and say, you know, just be a little bit more realistic here. Yeah, I see my coaching business soaring. I see my salon soaring. I see a lot of goals that I've planned for this year. I don't want to say too much of it, because I might look back at this video at the end and think, oh yeah, you see, because I'm accountable. But I definitely have a completely different view on my life and what it can be. It's changed from a victim perspective to I can be anything that I want, and I can do anything that I want, and there's greatness in me waiting to happen, and I must just be open to it, to it being released.
Beautiful. And what advice would you have for someone who has been in the same situation that you were in before you joined this program and are now looking for their next step?
Well, if someone was in my situation of being really rock bottom, I would say to them, this is your best opportunity to rebuild yourself, to reinvent yourself into the person you want to be. And that is possible because you are in charge of your life. And CREATRIX is the best tool that you can use to get yourself there, to remove all the crap that you've been holding on to, that has been bringing all this rubbish into your life, that's gotten you to rock bottom in the first place. If you're truly at a space where you want to make change and you want to transform, now is the best time to get rid of your fears, to get rid of your anxiety, to get rid of your victim mentality, to get rid of the blaming and the shaming of others, and to say, this is my life and I'm responsible for it. The best way I can do it is through CREATRIX, to have release, relief, and new beliefs, and to build the life that I truly want.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Is there anything else that you want to share?
I just think that there's so many limiting beliefs that we have and blockages that we have that we don't even know about. And when you're in a discussion with somebody that is a CREATRIX Transformology, they pick up on things that you didn't even know existed inside of yourself. When I was just thinking of something the other day of, like you were saying, no pain, no gain. My parents, well, one of my parents actually had a belief of a poverty mindset, you know, that you need to work hard for your money. Money doesn't come easy. Money doesn't grow on trees. And he had a very poverty mindset about how to make a living in life. So I learned a lot of good things from him about hard work and about good character. But the beliefs that he had wasn't really true. Because you don't have to work hard to get to where you want to be. You have to work smart. And CREATRIX was the best and the smartest way that I have seen being able to release all these stupid ideas that I was given by my parents and maybe their parents and their parents before that. And also, the mind can't analyze itself. I've tried to analyze where my crap has been coming from for years, but it's not brought me any relief or healing. So, okay, so I know where it comes from. Now what? there still needs healing to happen. It still needs to be removed. So you can sit and explain yourself and where things come from by digging into generations, 20 generations back, and you will have more awareness. That's fantastic, because when you have awareness, you could do something about it. But once you have this awareness, what are you going to do about it? So take your life seriously, get rid of this crap and start living. CREATRIX is the best way for a woman to be able to move forward into the life that they deserve to live.
Beautiful, Lizelle. Beautiful. Thank you so much for all those wise words, your inspiration, you being the role model for so many women. And I am so excited for all those women who come into your ecosystem and all the hearts that you will set free.
Thanks, Nicoline.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.